Welcome to Destined to Soar, a television news magazine that is dedicated to showcasing businesses, entrepreneurs, and organizations that are making a tremendous difference in our society. I am your host, Angelia Bills, and I am President and CEO of Eagle Productions, LLC, a full-service marketing firm. As a native St. Louisan, I have always been intrigued by the city, which sits to the east of us, just over the bridge, with a shared history and a rich culture. This city is none other than the city of East St. Louis. Please join me today in welcoming the city manager, Carlos Mayfield.
Well, thank you, and welcome to you as well. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Yes, we're very excited about you, and I know that you have a rich history and career path as well. So if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for the city of East St. Louis.
Well, primarily my role in the city of East St. Louis is I'm the city manager. So I manage the day-to-day operations of the city and all of the staff and the departments and the department heads that make a city actually function and operate. So everything from public safety to public works to HR, administration, and it goes on and on. So It's a pretty busy job for me.
Yes, I'm sure. And how long have you been with the city of East St. Louis?
8 months now.
Oh, wow.
I've been in the city 8 months, and it's been
it seems longer, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes.
It does. They're long days and short nights, but it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So can you tell us some of the outcomes or successes you've had since you've been over there?
Well, since my tenure in the city, we've had a lot of opportunity for redevelopment and economic development. In fact, we're slate to just here shortly in the next 30 days to start kind of what we call the redevelopment of our entire city, which we believe is going to be transformational.
Wow.
We'll be starting with the redevelopment of the Broadview Hotel, which is downtown in our central business district.
Yes.
And we're transforming that into a mixed-use facility, so we're pretty excited about that.
Wonderful.
Additionally, on the south end of our town, in the Lansdowne area, we're going to be building out market rate homes. First time in the city's history for years we've done market rate homes.
Wow, wow.
So we're looking forward to that.
So when you say market rate, what is the value of those homes?
So those homes are going to run anywhere between $200,000 and $250,000.
Wow, that is amazing.
It really is. It's exciting and amazing,
Yes.
Additionally, we're going to be welcoming the new Illinois State Highway Patrol headquarters in that area.
Yes.
So that's going to be a huge development and a resource needed.
Yes.
Because that's just going to bolster our public safety as well. So we're looking forward to that. And we're working with some other developers and building more homes. We're trying to really make our focus rooftops as well as economic development. So we'll be working in the Lansdowne area, then we'll be working back downtown in the central business district area.
Yes.
Where we'll be developing about 80 new homes in that area.
Wow, okay.
And then we're going to be working in the outlying areas more toward the new racetrack, where we'll be building a couple hotels and restaurants and shops.
That is amazing. So when you said that you are redeveloping the entire city, you are literally redeveloping the entire city.
We are. And again, it's going to be a transformational project for us.
Yes.
And it's got several phases to it. I do want to let the viewers know that. But in doing so, I think over the next 5 to 7 years, you're going to see a totally different city.
Wow, that is amazing. So for a ballpark figure, how many millions of dollars is it going to take to do all of that development?
We're estimating somewhere around $800 million with the developers. And I mean, just alone, when we start here in the next 30, 60 days, you're almost at $100 million worth of redevelopment.
Yes.
So we've got a lot of opportunity. I tell people all the time, look at East St. Louis as a blank canvas.
Yes.
And you're welcome to come and help us create that mosaic, if you will. So it's a great opportunity. We have a great deal of land, a great deal of opportunity. Obviously, we sit on a great river, the Mississippi River.
Yes.
And we're bordered, obviously, with St. Louis. And I always tell people that we'll let St. Louis be New York and we'll be Jersey City. So
Okay.
we'll thrive in that area.
And you all have the best views of the St. Louis City, landscape, the downtown landscape. You can see the best views from East St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll be building homes that'll be downtown in East St. Louis that'll look right into the arch. It's going to
Wow.
be beautiful.
Wow, that is exciting. And I've been working with you all for a few months, and I have seen the increase in activity that's been taking place as far as with the Ameren plant that's coming up. Can you talk a little bit about,
Sure. So we've developed a partnership with Ameren, and we're developing our first solar farm in the area. It's going to be right off our main thoroughfare, which is State Street,
Yes.
Next to our high school. And Ameren's goal is to develop many of those micro solar plants, or
Yes.
solar sites, if you will, in our area, and we're pretty excited about it.
Yes.
In fact, when you come over in East St. Louis now, you're going to see a lot of dirt that's being moved around.
Yes, and that's going to have a lot of jobs attached to it as well.
A lot of jobs.
Yes.
That was one of our thrusts. Is really part of keeping economic development is creating
Yes.
jobs in a workforce.
Yes, yes. So that is exciting. I mean, I think this is the most opportunity that has taken place in East St. Louis since the Casino Queen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes. And our
yeah.
mayor's done a great job and a visionary for our
has.
city and making sure that he talks about a 2030 plan. Where will we be in 2030?
2030.
What does our city look like? So he's casting a vision, he's got foresight, and he's looking ahead
Right.
of where we have the possibilities to be in 2030.
And so what is our time frame for the development that you just spoke about?
Well, we start with the broad view probably July 1. You're going to see a great deal of activity. Alongside that, the Lansdowne development has started now already with the homes.
Wonderful.
So it's kind of all working together, but this summer you're going to see a tremendous amount of momentum and dirt moving and clearing land and getting ready and prep work for all these developments.
I am so excited for the city of East St. Louis. I know that the Metro East has always been an economic engine that sits just over the water from St. Louis, and I'm glad that the wheels are turning. We've seen development in Sauget and Edwardsville and these other places, but it's
Sure.
exciting to be right in the city center. And so, and we're going to have Mayor Eastern on our next show. But kind of talk to me a little bit about Mayor Eastern. What is it like to work with him? How do you see him as the visionary? Because I know he has to be awesome for you to be working for him.
He really is. He's a great leader. He is really a team player. He works very closely with myself and our staff. He's about really empowering and developing our staff and our city and our citizens as well.
Yes.
So he kind of takes a holistic approach to his leadership, working through our departments along with me and making sure that our citizens have those wraparound services that they
Yes.
need. He came into office shortly before the pandemic, and so he's had his share of challenges tremendously, but he has fought through them, and we're still a phoenix rising.
Yes, you
We're
are.
excited about it.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, congratulations for everything that you all are doing in the city of East St. Louis. I look forward
Thank
to
you.
all of the grand openings and,
Yes.
the employment fairs. It's just a breath of fresh air coming to the East St. Louis area. And I know that it's all because of you guys over there. So
Well, thank you. Thank you.
congratulations, and you're welcome.
Well, we certainly give God the glory. We're excited about it.
Of course, yes. But thank you for coming on, and thank you for answering the call, to help
Absolutely.
a city that, has had its challenges, but now is on the rise.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to serve.
Yes, thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
You're watching the TV network.
Welcome to Destined to Soar, a television news magazine that is dedicated to showcasing businesses, entrepreneurs, and organizations that are making a tremendous difference in our community. I am your host, Angelia Bills, and I am President and CEO of Eagle Productions, LLC, a full-service marketing firm. At this time, I would like to introduce to some and present to others someone who is in a very elite group. He is one of only 3 African-American bank presidents in the St. Louis region. For 11 years, he has worked in the banking industry in various capacities, and he is now the market president for Midland State Bank. Please join me in welcoming Mr. David Noble. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, Busy day, good day, Midwestern weather day.
Yes, it is.
It's snowing in April.
Right. I'm like, what month is it? Is it February? Yes. So, congratulations on your promotion and how everything's going for you. It looks like it's going really good, right?
I would say, first of all, thank you. But things have been going well. It was an opportunity that I didn't expect.
Yes.
And when asked to consider the role of market president for St. Louis, in addition to my role as director of community economic development, it took me all of maybe 3 hours to decide that I needed to do that. I had a mentor and also my executive coach that said, look, do you understand what that means? Not just the role, but do you understand what that means for you as a black man?
Yes.
And both truly hit home. Because I was the first black man, I was the first black person to come work at the bank.
Wow.
So it let me know that over my journey, the body of work that I built and the relationships that I built, and I look at it as God bringing things to fruition.
Yes, always. So, it's amazing to me. When I heard the news, I was like, go David! Because I remember meeting you at the CLD program with Cheryl and Franklin back in 2013.
Yes, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
And I can honestly say, and I've said this to a couple of people, but now it's more known, that program is and was key to me being able to get to where I'm at in my career.
Yes.
There's a lot of leadership programs, but a leadership program that's built to create the next C-suite for blacks.
Yes.
It's something that it's a different game that we play in corporate America. It's a different game that we play in America, period. And understanding that, and then the rules of engagement and the different nuances between spoken and unspoken rules and the way to maneuver, and that you're playing chess and not checkers.
Right.
CLD taught me a lot, and meeting people such as yourself that were more seasoned in their careers.
Yes.
It gave me that opportunity, as you hear, iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So I learned from a lot of my cohorts just by listening to you all and your experiences, and I think it accelerated my growth.
Yeah, so were you in cohort 1 or 2?
One.
Okay, so we were in cohort 1 together. Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. And if you can dial yourself back to 2013 when you were in CLD, where were you in your career journey, and where did you envision yourself being?
So at that time, I was community development officer at Midwest Bank Center. I had just started working in the banking space. I think I'd been in the banking space for less than a year. And my entry into banking was unusual. I went from having a conversation with a vice president and the CEO and chairman of the bank around what I did in the community and how was I able to penetrate the minority community to originate mortgages, to them offering me a job. From a meeting that was supposed to last an hour, it took an hour and a half, and I knew CEOs and chairmen don't give their time readily. But then I was thrust into a position where I was dealing with senior vice presidents, CEO, chairman, president. So I was dealing with high-level folks, and I had never been in that environment before.
Yes.
And the need to adapt quickly and have an accelerated learning curve to where I couldn't make mistakes because I was in the room and seated at the table with these folks. So I couldn't make mistakes. And I remember one CLD class, Carlton Adams, I talked to him about this to this day, where I said, look, I'm trying to do some stuff. and it's not working, and I'm wondering why I'm having these conversations, and they say that they want to do something, but then in turn, when it comes time to do it, it's a challenge there. And Carlton literally took that session and asked some of you all, what are you experiencing that could help David get through this challenge? And then giving me some insight on understanding their language, understanding what's their motivation, what's their WIFM, the what's in it for me. Do they want a problem solved, or do they want an objective achieved, or an opportunity created? And then how to speak to that. I would say that was a moment in my career, my professional career, that the light bulb went off, and I started applying it immediately. So I learned how to engage differently, and that's something that I think is a strength that I have now. I can sit down in a room and hear different people talk about. It could be the same thing, but they're coming from a different perspective. And some would be able to absorb, assimilate, and translate that for the room, and understanding, well, okay, if it's three of you all, what do I need to speak to for all three of you? Because we're trying to achieve a common objective.
Learning to read the room.
Now we might see it differently, and we might be motivated by different things. But at the end of the day, if you're motivated by getting it done, you know, that's what I'm focused on, getting it done. So in some instances, it creates impatience for me. But you know, I feel like you should be an executor. We have a lot of folks that talk to something, but it's not enough folks that are about doing something.
That's true. It's all in the execution.
We
can talk all day, but if you're not executing, you know,
you got to deliver.
That's part of success. That's a key.
And I've learned that. I think I could attribute that to also how I got to be market president, because I'm not your typical market president. I don't come from a commercial lending background, but I understand commercial lending. And in my position, I report to the president of the bank. I have a interesting reporting structure. I report to three folks. But in the president of the bank, I had the conversation with him. I said, so I watched you go from senior vice president of community banking, executive vice president of community banking, to president. So I watched you for 8 years. I said, so what I see myself doing as market president, the posture that I hold, I'm going to take what you do at a macro level, president of the bank, and I'm going to create that environment in the market, in the region, to where I'm president of the region. So what better let's say master, because I like Star Wars. What better master to have? And I'm his Padawan, to where I've sat and watched you for years maneuver and watch you get to your role. So why shouldn't I pattern myself after that? And I had to ask the question. I said, now, am I thinking right? He said yes, and I said, okay then. So I'm going to take that posture so people don't feel funny. And I think that's been really great. That God's given me this opportunity to get exposed to all these high-level thinkers, what I call accelerated thinkers, people that have vision, can think through concepts, through logistics to execution, and that's the environment that I like to play in.
And what I like about what you're saying is, you know, you're relatable to people. You know, you're not intimidated. I think sometimes in this space, you know, young executives, minority executives, they feel intimidated by different levels of people. Like if they say, okay, well, you're the chairman of the board, I shouldn't talk to you. What would you say to an executive who thought like that?
You need to be able to walk with kings and still not lose the common touch. That's a poem that I learned in becoming a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And that stanza of the poem, I clearly understood what that means. And I have the ability to in 1 minute be presenting to the board, be in a meeting with the CEO and president, and in another meeting be talking to somebody on the street, the common person, and I can relate to both. And I think that's important. You never forget where you come from, because where you came from, it made you. So it's a mistake to forget your foundation and your grounding, but you also have to understand that it's a reason why you're in the room. And I had to deal with that. And my mother was the best teacher for me. Bless her heart. She's passed on. You know, it was moments to where I would come home frustrated when I first got into banking, and I would tell her, I said, I don't understand what they're saying, Mama. I said, I'm in the room and I feel lost. And I said, you know, that's uncomfortable for me because I'm an intelligent person and I feel lost. And her response was, so they asked you to be in the room, right? They asked you to be in the meeting. You got seated at the table. So not only did they invite you there, but God placed you there. So
Right.
since God placed you there, you belong to be there. So I don't
Yes.
want to hear that lack of confidence or self-esteem
Yes.
or whatever it is that you got going on. She said, check that at the door.
All right.
And she literally told me, she said, why don't you pray and ask God for understanding? Because while you know why you're there, they might not know why you're there.
That's true.
You know that God placed you there, and he did not place you there for you to fail. So lean on him for understanding.
Yes.
And after that conversation, I said a
Yeah.
prayer about God unlocking these principles and precepts and these structures and foundations
Yes.
to where, all right, I don't got 20 years in a career to learn. I need to learn this stuff quickly.
Wow.
From that moment on, it was literally like my mind opened up and I could hear these things talked about. I didn't have an issue about being in the room. I never had an issue about being the only black person in the room because from the age of 9 to 16, I lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yes.
It was only 3 blacks in high school. It was only 3 of us in the whole high school.
Yeah.
So I was used to being the only black person in the room and being confident about that. It was the subject matter, and I felt like I was amongst kings.
Yes.
And I had to get used to, okay, well, David, you're a young prince. One day you're going to be a king.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
now I feel like I am a king, but I cannot lose that ability to have a common touch.
I love it. I love it. And you're really speaking to the imposter syndrome that sometimes people get, where they feel like I don't belong or this isn't my space. But if God is giving you the space, it is your space, you know, and you own it and you walk in it. So I see you do that every day. I watch you on social media and how you're active in the community and how you speak as a leader in the community. And I just commend you on that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity,
Yeah.
you know, to look back on 2013 and COD to see where some of us have taken our careers.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you've taken yourself from being at the Urban League to launching out into your own business and saying, okay, look, it's time for a pivot and a transition.
Yes.
To see some others go through different executive positions,
Yes.
to see some others start their own businesses. You know, it's encouraging to know that what was invested in us,
Yes.
that seed is taking root and it's borne fruit.
Definitely, and it's paying off. And so I have one more question to ask you, and that's about your community involvement, because I see that you're very active in the community. You know, you are an alpha, you know, so just kind of speak to some of your community involvement.
So I learned how to be a servant from my mother. I didn't realize it, but my mother helped so many people, and when she passed away at her funeral, I saw so many people that I didn't know. I'm the youngest in my family, so it's a lot of people that I didn't know, but I'm looking at folks and to hear people talk about how my mother helped them. I said, oh, I know I didn't get it from Daddy, because Daddy wasn't that nice to folks. Daddy was more so about the business, but my mother had this loving, kind spirit that I have a mixture of them. So, you know, one thing that she told me, she said, you don't never forget where you come from, and don't ever forget that you've been placed where you're placed to be a blessing to others, not just yourself. You'll be blessed, so you don't got to worry about that, but you got to be a blessing to others. So I've looked at organizations, and then my mentor John Shivers told me as well too, you know, it'll help you with your career. So at first it was about the career and branding. Then it became more so, okay, what do I have a heart tug? Where do I want to sit? So, you know, being involved with Christian Hospitals Foundation, to me, my mother was a nurse for 40-something years. It's a way for me to honor her. And for me to be involved in youth in need, you know, they deal with a lot of foster children. Well, my father was a foster child, so it's a way for me to honor him. To be on the board of Doorways, you know, with what they do with folks that are severely impacted by HIV and AIDS and homelessness. You know, I got a chance to honor them because my son at one time had cancer. And I didn't know about anybody else to call but Opal Jones.
Right,
you know, we had met and I remembered some of the service that they provided. I said, wait a minute, let me call Opal. Opal helped me transfer my son back from Houston to St. Louis, find the right doctors, and assist me with that, because I was the one handling it because he was the oldest grandbaby, the first son. The women in my family were shook, and the ones that knew about the medical field, I'm like, I need y'all to help me. And they were kind of frozen. And then other organizations like the Community Builders Network, RISE, Housing Action Illinois, the St. Louis Equity Fund. Who else am I missing? I know it's Urban Land Institute, the American Planning Association. I have a connection to all of these entities because of the way I'm wired, either through education or upbringing. And I feel like it's important for me to not only leverage myself in these spaces, but also leverage the bank in these spaces. So that way we have a value proposition when we sit at the table. And it also allows me to be a voice for those that don't have a voice. It allows me to present a different perspective. So we talk about diversity, inclusion, and equity. Well, is it lip service, or what do you do when you include me? And more importantly, what do I do when you include me? What posture do I hold when I sit in that seat to make sure that it's not a wasted opportunity?
Right. Wow.
And of course, my illustrious fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Don't forget about that A-Phi. You know what it's like, fam.
Yes. Well, as an alpha female, I do understand Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I thank you for coming on. You are an amazing man of God. And I just look forward to you doing great things, even greater things in this community. I mean, I see where you are, but I think you still have more to go.
Yeah, I think I think this part of my career, it's just begun, and the shoes are just now getting comfortable. And it's been, in May it'll be a year. And I told my manager, I said, when the shoes get comfortable, trouble's coming. Because and we're both athletes. He gets what I mean. I said, when the shoes get comfortable and the technical side of the role, the operations administration, when I get comfortable with that and I can truly be myself in the role, I said it's going to be different. And right now, I would say by our performance, based off the balance sheet and P&L, God's blessing the bank because he put me in the seat.
All right. That's true. And congratulations. I'm excited. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming. Have a great day.
I will.
Okay.